So speaking of groomers, I wanted to talk a little bit about recent drama that went down with Andrew Tate and Hasan. Now, before this, I had no idea who Andrew Tate was. I had heard his name as it pertained to MMA briefly, but other than the whole MMA stuff, I hadn't really heard anything about this Andrew Tate fella. And then this video comes out. I watch it on the way to work. We'll watch it here. And I'm like, well, who is this guy? Then I start hearing stuff about being a rapist, a groomer. This guy is a piece of crap. So then I start looking more into it, and it gets shitty. And really sad, because these two up front, let's set this up. Let's set this up real quick. Let's set this video up. These two up top are teenagers. He's 17, she's 17, he is, I don't know. And at first, he was a guest on their deal. These kids, well, I think this one right here is Clix or some shit. I don't know. And he has like millions of followers. He's a pro gamer. And so Andrew Tate has this new MLM out, and he's talking to these young kids about it.
Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here, and a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women driving, as a matter of fact, are just generally untrue. There's no empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently and say things like, oh, well, it's just common sense, right? But it's not technically common sense. It's just your personal opinion.
Completely. It's my personal opinion. When I say, yeah, exactly. And when I say these things, X amount of people agree with me and X amount of people disagree with me. That's fine, and that's the same with nearly any statement in the world.
Okay,
I can say the world is round, and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree with me. That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences men are better drivers than women. I'm not saying there's no good female drivers. I'm not saying a female can't.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right? Or your own personal opinion backed by anecdotes from your own personal experiences. Now, your own personal experiences are oftentimes going to be incorrect and not close to the reality. That's why there's an entire field of statistical analysis. That's why we do empirical. That's why we rely on empirical evidence when we're making decisions. Why? Because we all carry a bunch of personal biases, and when we analyze situations, we do not have enough scope to grasp the entirety of the situation. We cannot comprehend it with our human brains.
Bro, listen,
which is why, when it comes to women driving, it's a funny point, because the truth is different. The truth is the exact opposite.
No, listen. First things first. There's lies, there's damn lies, and there's statistics. I'm sure you've heard that from Mark Twain. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you're deriving.
You can massage numbers, but
you're deriving your truth from an internet study. That's fine. You can derive your truth from an internet study on a bunch of different things. The truth of life is the truth that you experience as an individual. That is the only truth that we all live within. You live within your truth, I live within my truth, because these are the truths I've experienced as an individual.
This is the shit I'm talking about. Let me tell you something. That shit, what he just said, works. It absolutely works. If I say, look, people out there lie to you, you just got to learn to trust yourself, because you don't know, you're the only person you could trust. That the people are like, you know what? Yeah. And then somebody goes, yeah, but I mean, you can't have an opinion about a fact though. I'm like, yeah, but who's to say what's a fact and what's not a fact? And you know, Hasan beats him up here. But if you notice, if you ever went and found this video on Clix's side, I think that's his name, Clix or whatever his name is, go to his comments and see how many people think, wow, you know, Hasan's right. I'm a changed person now. You know what I mean? And so I hate to say it, but it goes like this. Some people are literally too stupid. And I don't mean that like, oh, I just mean like ignorant. You don't know what you don't know. Like, I mean like actually stupid. Like, you do not have the aptitude in your brain to understand what was being told to you. And those are the kind of people that I'm kind of okay with just kind of like, hey, like, you shouldn't be mean to them, or you shouldn't go too hard on them, because, you know, like other content creators, when they get that kind of feedback, and it's like, what do you think is going to happen if you don't? There are people who will listen. There are people who you can reach. But then there are people that, you know, like Andrew Tate here, that you just gotta be mean to. Like, you can't do anything, because it's not going to convince him, and it sure should not going to convince any of the people who like him, because they're literally too dumb to reach.
So certain things happen to you over and over and over and over and over again, but the truth on the internet says it's not true. That doesn't mean that your experiences are any less real. So if you come here and say the internet says X,
your experiences can be real. You could be a statistical anomaly, as a matter of fact. You can be one of those people, but more often than not,
because I keep letting you talk and you're finishing your point and I'm trying to talk. So
okay, go ahead.
I'm going to. The fact that you're going on the internet, finding some study and saying that this is the truth, especially after the age of COVID and all the fucking truth we were told with that garbage, you want to sit here and say, oh, the internet said X. I'm sure the internet did. I'm talking about my personal experiences. Some people agree with me and some people do not. That is perfectly fine. Don't give a fuck if people agree with me or otherwise. People are listening to me and they're either agreeing with me or not.
I know, but you're still wrong, and that's the problem.
I disagree with you.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to keep speaking into a hug box where people agree with you And
A hug box.
well, if you just completely devalue empirical evidence, actuarial sciences, the entirety of the insurance industry that relies on making these sorts of calculations to ensure that these quotes are as profitable as possible, which ends up charging men higher rates than women, is a statistical likelihood that men are more dangerous drivers than women across the board and get into more car accidents across the board. If you're going to look at all of that and say it doesn't matter because that does not correspond to my own personal experiences, then you're silly. You're being silly. You're being a silly person.
Like, look at their faces. They're literally falling asleep.
Might cloud our personal judgment.
I think every single person on earth is biased and lives within a biased
Absolutely.
reality.
That's absolutely true. If you agree with me on both of those accounts, you understand that your anecdotes, your own personal accumulation of information, is going to be clouded by your own personal biases. Rather than make arguments around our... Wait, let me finish. Come on.
I understand what you're saying.
This is precisely why we do that.
We went over the same point like 5 times here.
Everyone's saying kick you. You're long-winded the point. You're saying that the empirical evidence is
Listen. Look what all these 16-year-olds in chat are saying.
Empirical evidence says that a pit bull is more likely to bite you than a Dalmatian. But in your life experience, every time you went near a Dalmatian, it bit you, and a pit bull never did. Are you going to go up to a Dalmatian still completely and go, oh, it's fine, completely unbiased because the empirical evidence says X when you're covered in scars? No. You're going to say Dalmatians bite me for some reason, and I'm not comfortable around Dalmatians. That's called human nature. So I'm telling you my personal experiences. I don't care. I understand your point.
But there's a difference between feeling a certain way because of personal experience and making a claim because of personal experience. Like, those are not the same thing.
In this country can do X. I completely get that. But secondly, it's also a country. You're only talking about America because you're American. You don't see outside of the world. That's fine.
I'm Turkish, actually. I grew up in Turkey.
Got him.
That's not the point I'm making.
That's not the point. I said it, but it's not the point, so don't ruin my dunk.
Or the parking gets difficult. They usually ask the man to drive themselves. I know many women who do that. They're not offended by my assumption. I know loads of women who go, oh, I don't want to park, you park it. There's not a bad thing about it. Who gives a shit, right? It's not even a big deal. You've come on here deciding you really want to stick up for the chicks, and maybe, one of them will drive over to your house. It's cool. We've got better things to talk about.
Look, let's be real. I don't think I need to be a male feminist to be able to attract women.
So he did the white knight thing. And again, telling on themselves. The only way these can ever imagine being kind or defending a woman or coming to her aid or just being a normal, decent human being towards them is if you want sex. That's it. There's no other way. If you want to be nice to somebody, then that's what your homeboys are for. And so anytime anybody enters into the chat to go, hey, actually, that's not true. Why would you say that? Or maybe stop being such a dick to her. Oh, what do you want? Oh, sorry, bro. Like, you don't have to come in here and be a white knight. She's not gonna you, man. Like, what? So he did it just here. But he did it to a millionaire, really good-looking dude who doesn't have problems in the dating realm.
Slowly but surely. The thing is, the Dalmatian example that you gave is great because you are creating now a hypothetical scenario in which you want your opponent to concede. I can do the exact same thing and say, well, in my personal experience, Dalmatians never bite, or pit bulls never bite, whichever one you thought was the more aggressive breed, right? In my personal experience, what if in a million times that I have bred pit bulls or been around pit bulls, not a single one of them has ever been aggressive? We will never be able to arrive at a meaningful solution or a resolution to this conversation if we're both operating on personal anecdotes and hypotheticals. That is not how you can conduct an appropriate debate.
I understand your point. You're saying that
Walls
even if I
here.
thought...
We're losing the girl.
No, exactly. I want to talk to her. He's saying even if I...
Exactly. I want to talk to her. Bro, you are 35 years old.
No, exactly. I want to talk to her. He's saying even if I thought women were worse drivers, I've seen the empirical evidence, and I'm so smart that I ignore my own eyes and ears and believe what the internet tells me. That's what he's coming along.
That's not what I'm
saying.
asking you to do, my friend.
I'm sure you're double.
This is the problem. This is why I don't think he's a grifter, right? Like when Ben Shapiro says stuff like this, he's grifting. Ben Shapiro absolutely understands empirical data. He understands how to validate, research, stuff like that, right? Like, he knows. So when Ben Shapiro uses language like this, he's being dishonest, right? He's being a grifter. But this guy who made a career out of getting punched in the head, he is getting frustrated because this is true in his mind. He doesn't understand how research papers are validated. For him, there's only one place you can find that kind of research, and it's on the internet. because it is 2022. You don't need to go to your grandma's house and get the encyclopedia off the shelves to look up something for your paper. You can take somebody like him, right? I imagine he's probably a fan of MMA. I imagine he is. If you were to say, hey, this individual has a better fight record than another individual, and he goes, no, that's not true. Me saying, I have been to like 5 MMA fights with this individual, and that individual has won every time, I think I would know that guy has a better record. What would Andrew Tate do? Andrew Tate would then go to the internet. He would go to where they have the records, and then he would pull up a data sheet on that fighter's record and then show it to you and go, I'm right, you're wrong, look at it. And then if I replied to Andrew Tate, oh, so you believe everything the internet tells you? You went to sharedog.com and pulled up the fight records and you just expect me to believe that? I'm sorry. I think I've been to 5 of his fights. I know that all 5 of those he has won, and that's my personal, so they know it doesn't work like that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about the whole, he's too stupid to understand because, yeah, I mean, even if you're a idiot like this guy, you have to know that just because you've accessed it through online ISP or something, doesn't make it invalidated. It's where did you get it from? So he's purposefully characterizing the data statistics as internet studies.
So let's change the subject because you've just proven your point.
Okay, Andrew, do you believe? Well, you didn't really prove anything, but it's cool. Do you believe the Earth is flat, or do you believe the Earth?
This part of the video, I find this is great. I don't care who you are. This shit is awesome. This guy is so stressed from getting beat up that he has to take a wellness break in the middle. And I just love to see it.
To look at the data.
So let's change the subject because you've just proven your point.
Okay, Andrew, do you believe? Well, I didn't.
He can't. He needs to calm down. Just.
Do you believe the Earth is flat,
I gotta disconnect. Sometimes you just gotta disconnect.
Round.
Aldi has his headphones on.
Yeah,
Oh, he took his headphones off.
He gets very stressed sometimes, and
Yeah, it's cool. It's important. Sometimes you can't take the heat. Sometimes you can't take the heat, so you gotta get out of the kitchen a little bit.
All right, let me get back in.
Andrew,
Let me get back in and get beat up
is
again.
a round, spherical globe. Andrew, can you tell me a little bit about the Hustlers University, whatever that is? Not in a promotional capacity. I know that you're doing the rounds on Twitch, and I know that that's probably giving you a big boost. But I want to understand, because you are.
Okay. So check this out. So he'll go into Hustlers University, but he actually does it a lot better in this.
Cool, let's talk about it.
I was broke. I saw how you living. I wanted to get rich, but I've only been in it for 3 weeks. But I've been making some bread.
Have you made more than you invested?
Yeah, duh.
So is it
What's a bonus is that he put on a shirt this
I made
time.
money. I made loads off just a little
Bro, are
investment.
you okay?
Yeah,
Serious
I'm gonna be
question.
honest,
How are you making money?
Look, listen to what this dude says here.
How are you making the money?
Don't worry about how we make our money. Join the program.
If you want to.
Are you
if wanna
making the
know how to
money?
get it-
Are you making the money through affiliate codes, or are you actually making money?
I'm actually making money.
Not through affiliate codes. You're following the steps.
Yeah.
18.
Okay, what are you doing?
You got to sign up to see.
That's right.
This is such a scam, brother.
I'll
Come on,
be
you
honest,
gotta,
paid
you gotta at least.
Paid actors.
You're just doing
Listen.
a hashtag ad at this point for
I'm gonna
fucking
be
Hustlers
honest,
University.
I'm gonna be
Stag
honest.
moving it too.
Hold on, Stag, go ahead. Tell your story.
I joined. I was dead broke. I had 10K to my name. I joined. I got even broker. So I don't know what the fuck. I joined and got broker. I was everything somebody did, I did, and then it just fucking went down. It went downhill. It was ass, bro.
So
Can you imagine working for anybody? If it's trade, it's sales, it's management, whatever it is. What career out there? Any of them. Entertainment, becoming a celebrity, an actor, any of them. And someone says, okay, but how do you make money? And any profession, I'm talking astronaut, ditch digger, it doesn't matter. What profession out there tells you you have to join my program to find out? If you just tell people, hey, here's what it is. We got multivitamins and we use the best products. And so we're a sales team that go around and we put them on GNC shelves and yada yada yada. This is how commission works. If you join our team, we're gonna go out there and we go to fitness conventions. Like, I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but the entire business model is unlike regular retail distributors because we're a team that travels around. We're on shelves in 3 different gyms from Planet Fitness to blah, 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 right? I'm telling you how it works. Like, anybody who goes, ooh, I'm gonna go do that by myself. Like, no, you're not. 9 times out of 10, no, you're not. Because there's overhead, right? You have to have the product first. Do most people have $50,000, $75,000 just sitting around in overhead to go start their own business? No. So what you do is you sell them, you don't have to do the overhead. I've done it for you. Come join my team. If anybody tells you, no, I'm not going to tell you how, just join, it's a scam. And this little fuckface knows it's a scam. I just need to know why everyone who follows him is 20. Why does everyone who follows this 35-year-old 20? And in the last video we watched, much younger than 20. Is it because anybody with significant life experience is going to see immediately?
So we have a positive review and a negative review, and then we have Hasan in the middle who thinks it's all a big scam.
No, I know it's a scam, brother. I know it's a scam. Come on. I mean, is it? Look. It's not even a new one. Our fucking parents. There's probably kids in this chat right now whose moms and dads did a version of this. It's called Herbalife, Amway. It has existed throughout time. The multi-level marketing scheme.
Yep, there was like 5 of them
the entire fucking point.
Hold on, we were looking at
so you can fucking
hold on, let me see if I can find it.
The bag down to the next person.
That's right.
You're at the tippy top, collecting the entirety, 90% of profits from every single fucking sale made. $50 might not come across like a big amount of money, but over 110,000 people, that's a lot of fucking cookies you're making every month.
Yeah, obviously you're wrong, but let's discuss this at length during our next official organized debate. Because if
I can't stop myself. We're gonna talk about it. Like if Cheese are over, he's gonna fucking praise it like in front of 110,000 impressionable kids. I'm gonna have to talk about
it. Phil has recruited me and another guy. Now we are getting 3 people each. The more people that get involved, the more people who are investing, the more money we're all gonna make. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se. It's
Why did somebody do that with Andrew Tate on air? All right, so check this out. Police raid MAGA, king of toxic masculinity, in human trafficking investigation. Romanian police raided the home of prominent pro-Trump online personality Andrew Tate this month as part of a human trafficking investigation, bringing new attention to Tate's ties to leading figures in the American MAGA movement. Before the April 11th raid, Tate was best known as a kickboxer and vocal Trump supporter in the online far right. But Tate's treatment of women had an ugly side. In 2016, he was booted off the British version of Big Brother over a video of him hitting a woman with a belt. This March, Britain's Daily Mirror tabloid profiled him and his brother Tristan Tate and their Romania-based business, which used webcam models to trick men into sending the brothers tens of thousands of dollars. In one video on his YouTube channel, Andrew Tate said 40% of the reason he moved to Romania was because Romanian police were less likely to pursue sexual assault allegations. Tate's unsavory activities didn't stop him from building links with the stars of the Trumpian right. In 2019, Tate palled around Washington, D.C. with prominent online Trump activists and conspiracy theorists. He shared a meal with far-right cable news commentator Jack Posobiec, and Infowars host Paul Joseph Watkins, and appeared multiple times on Infowars shows. In Trump's Washington hotel, Tate posed for a picture with Brexit advocate Nigel Farage and sat in a group in the Trump hotel lobby with the likes of Pizzagate conspiracy theorist Mike Cernovich and future January 6th protest organizer Ali Alexander. Cernovich visited the Tate brothers in Romania later that year, describing them as his friends. Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism said the raid on Tate's house was part of an investigation that began after a woman was reported to be held hostage at the house against her will. As the probe continued, it escalated to include crimes of human trafficking and rape. Video from the raid showed police officers armed with rifles milling around Tate's sports cars, with a neon Tate logo on a wall in the background. Another video showed Tate and his brother being shoved into vans by police officers before being driven away from their homes. Police found both the American and a Romanian woman in the building during the raid, according to the report. In a statement on the raid to the Daily Beast, a U.S. State Department spokesperson alluded to reported abduction of an American citizen, but declined to comment further. We are aware of a report of reports of a U.S. citizen held against her will in Romania. Due to privacy considerations, we have no further comment. You know what's super convenient, I find? I find it super interesting how Trump will say, you can't trust the media. You have to figure things out for yourself. Why? Well, because the media is going to tear him apart. The media is going to show that he's lying. The media, same thing with papers. Anti-vaxxers have to say that published, peer-reviewed papers cannot be trusted. Why? Because what they're about to tell you is going to be counter to what has been published. So what does Andrew Tate say? Don't believe the internet. Oh, you read that on the internet. And that way he can set up for his fans. Yeah, that's how the internet works. They're just there for clicks. And no, that's not what the investigation's about. And if you find out that it is what the investigation is about, then you're a sucker, because I can't believe you're believing the internet right now. There was one last thing. All right.
As far as jobs.
So check this shit out.
Look at her. She'll look at you, lean in, and kiss her on the lips.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
What are we doing?
What's up?
Oh, hold on.
Let's go! You're terrifying the f out of me. I'll take fucking animal. Stop, baby, stop. I'll take you the f out.
So when you get with our friend here, Clix, it's going to be the last relationship ever. It's going to be your second and last man for the rest of your life.
Is it?
It is, but I have to fix him and make him lean in and kiss you properly. I told him exactly what to do, but he wasn't listening. So I might have to fly over there, and I got big hands. Give him a slap, teach him a lesson, because he should have kissed you like a man should kiss a woman. You're a beautiful young lady. You should have done it properly,
Thank you.
Once you're 18,
They're all under 18.
a man should kiss a woman. You're a beautiful young lady. You should have done it properly,
Thank you.
Once you're 18, if you want to get yourself a real man, I know a guy.
You do?
I do, yeah. What? It's a long story. I can't tell you exactly who, because there's bad things about him.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Who is it?
What? Because he should have kissed you like a man should kiss a woman. You're a beautiful young lady. You should have done it properly,
Thank you.
Once you're 18, if you want to get yourself a real man, I know a guy.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Who is it?
What? It's a long story. I can't tell you exactly who, because there's bad things about him.
Yo, there's no fucking way you just said that. No. I actually overheard that. The fact that you said that shit is fucking crazy. That's fucked up. You were dead ass being a W wingman, and the fact that you come in and say that shit is actually fucked up.
Give her a kiss. Go.
Let's go.
What the fuck is going on here?
Not just wait a hour for that shit. Hell no. Hell no. That's happening, dog.
He's like, fuck yeah, I made them kiss. Yeah, so that's Andrew Tate. That is Andrew fucking Tate.